Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a moment in every person's life when the world outside becomes too loud, too chaotic, and too unkind. A moment when the heart feels weary and the soul restless. In those moments, we search sometimes desperately for something we cannot see, yet deeply crave. That something is peace, not the absence of noise, but the calm in the storm. Not the lack of problems, but the strength to rise above them. Today, I want to speak to your heart, not just your ears. I want to remind you that peace isn't something you find out there. It's something you uncover in here. Within you, if you've been tired of running, if the burden of expectations, guilt, comparison, or past regrets has stolen your joy, this is for you. This is a gentle nudge from the universe reminding you, you deserve peace. Not just on Sundays, not just on holidays, but every single day of your life. And for that, we must look deeper. Let me walk you through 5 powerful ways that open the door to peace. Not external, but internal. Not temporary, but lasting. These are not merely steps, they are awakenings. Accept what you cannot control. There is a kind of suffering that stems not from pain, but from resistance. We don't suffer because life is hard. We suffer because we wish it was easier. We don't break because of what happened. We break because we cannot accept that it did. The truth is, peace begins the moment we stop fighting what already is. Life has a way of writing its own script. It does not always take our opinion. It doesn't wait for our permission. And sometimes it rewrites everything we had carefully planned. The job we thought we'd have, the person we thought would stay, the health we thought was permanent, it changes. And when it does, we must remember, we are not here to control the ocean. We are here to learn how to float. Every time we hold tightly to things we cannot command, we drain our own power. Imagine holding sand in your fist. The tighter you clench, the faster it slips away. That's exactly what it feels like when we try to control the uncontrollable. We lose our calm, our sleep, our smile. But the moment we open our palm, the sand rests. The moment we loosen our grip, we breathe. Acceptance is not weakness, it is not giving up, it is not passive. In fact, it is one of the most courageous things you will ever do. To look life in the face and say, I didn't choose this, but I choose to live with it. That is power. That is peace. We often confuse control with security. We think if we plan every detail, nothing will hurt us. But peace doesn't come from controlling everything. It comes from trusting that even the things we don't control can serve us in ways we don't yet understand. Sometimes not getting what you wanted is a blessing you'll only recognize years later. Storms will come in no matter how many umbrellas you carry. People will live in no matter how much love you gave. Life will shift no matter how tightly you held on. That's not a reason to fear, it's a reason to become softer, to become fluid, to become resilient. Because what you can't control, you can still survive. When you finally accept what you cannot change, you release a burden you never needed to carry. You stop replaying conversations in your head. You stop rehearsing fears. You stop arguing with life. And instead, you begin to flow. You begin to adapt. You begin to live. Peace is not a perfect life. It's a peaceful heart in an imperfect life. It's the ability to stand in the storm and say, this too shall pass. It's the whisper within you that says, I am still okay. And that whisper, that is born in acceptance. There is freedom in surrender. Not in the way people think, not in losing, but in rising above. When you surrender to what cannot be changed, you suddenly discover how much energy you have to focus on what can. Your growth, your reactions, your healing, your joy. We chase peace in places that sell perfection. But peace doesn't live there. Peace lives in broken places, in the soft smile after a hard day, in the silence that follows a painful goodbye, in the steady breath after letting go of what was never yours. Peace grows in surrender. Sometimes we ask, why me? And perhaps the better question is, what now? What can I learn? What can I still become? What parts of me can grow stronger because of this loss, this delay, this detour? Acceptance opens the door to wisdom, to deeper understanding, to healing. Every soul that found peace had to let go of something, a belief, a dream, a version of life that no longer fit. And in that letting go, something new was born, not always immediately, not always painlessly, but always purposefully. Peace is born through grief, not in its absence. There is a stillness waiting for you, beyond the storm, beyond the regrets, beyond the resistance. It is soft, it is deep, and it is yours. But you must walk through the gate of acceptance to reach it. Not once, but many times. Again and again. Until surrender becomes your second skin. You do not need to fix everything. You do not need to understand everything. You just need to accept that some things are not meant to be changed. They are meant to change you. And maybe, just maybe, that is enough. Let go of the past. Embrace the present. There is a weight we carry that no one sees. It is invisible but heavy. It is the weight of yesterday, the memories we cannot change, the moments we wish we could erase, the words we wish we never said. We carry these pieces of the past like broken glass. And with every step, they cut deeper into our peace. The past is a powerful teacher, but a cruel master. It teaches us, yes, but only when we are willing to learn and then let go. The problem begins when we don't just visit our past, we live in it. When we set up camp in moments that no longer exist. When we keep revisiting doors that have already closed. Letting go of the past is not forgetting it. It is remembering it with grace. It is saying, yes, it happened. Yes, it hurt. But no, it no longer defines who I am becoming. Because healing does not erase the past, it transforms it. It turns pain into wisdom. It turns mistakes into maturity. It turns loss into depth. We often become prisoners of our past simply because we believe we cannot be free. But you were not born to carry yesterday forever. You were born to evolve. You were born to outgrow the skin of your old self. You were born to look in the mirror and say, I have survived, and I am still becoming. There are chapters of your story that broke you, that disappointed you, that made you question your worth. But peace doesn't live in those pages anymore. It lives in the decision to turn the page, to write something new, to stop rereading the same pain and expecting it to suddenly make sense. The present is waiting for you, right here, in the sound of your breath, in the people who still love you, in the chances still ahead of you. But you cannot embrace the present with hands full of the past. You must be willing to open your fists, to let the old fall away so the new can begin. Your past may explain you, but it does not have the right to control you. It may tell the story of where you've been, but it does not have the final word on where you are going. You are more than your history. You are more than your trauma. You are more than your scars. Sometimes we stay stuck in the past because we never gave ourselves closure. We wait for apologies that never come. We wait for someone to make it right. But peace comes when you decide to make peace anyway. When you say, even without the closure I wanted, I choose to close this chapter myself. Time will not heal what you keep reopening. That is why peace demands that you become gentle with your heart, that you stop picking at old wounds, that you allow healing to happen not through forgetting, but through forgiving. Forgiveness is not a gift for them, it's a gift for you. It's the key that unlocks the prison you put yourself in. Living in the present means choosing to wake up every day and say, today is new. It means not letting old stories narrate your future. It means tasting your food, feeling your breath, hearing the laughter around you and saying, this moment matters. Because this moment is the only place where peace lives. Sometimes we don't even realize how much of our current sadness is coming from past echoes. A song, a smell, a name it, pulls us back. But you must learn to breathe through those triggers. To remind yourself that you are no longer in that place. That the person you were is not the person you are now. Every second spent regretting the past is a second lost from building your future. You cannot rewrite yesterday, but you can create a new ending. That power was always yours. But you must stop pouring today's energy into yesterday's pain. Letting go is not a one-time act. It's a daily choice. Some days the past knocks louder than others. Some days it begs to be relived. But on those days, you must choose to whisper back, "Not today." You must choose to live forward, even when the past pulls hard. There is so much peace in the now, but you will only find it when you stop dragging the old into it. Be present, because this version of you, this moment, this breathe is sacred. And when you start living fully in today, you will begin to realize that peace was never far. It was just waiting for your attention. Your peace begins when your past ends not because you erase it, but because you finally release it. And when you do, life opens its arms to welcome you back into the gift of now. Say no without guilt. There is a strange burden many of us carry on that doesn't belong to us. It is the weight of pleasing everyone around us while quietly disappointing ourselves. We become experts at saying yes, even when our hearts scream no. We fear rejection more than we value our own peace. And so, we shrink ourselves to fit into everyone's comfort, forgetting our own. Peace begins when we understand that no is not a betrayal, it is an act of self-respect. Saying no doesn't make you cruel, selfish, or unkind. It makes you honest. It makes you grounded. It makes you real. You are not responsible for everyone's happiness, but you are responsible for your own well-being. Many of us were raised to believe that kindness means compliance. That to be loved, we must always be agreeable. That denying someone else's request is denying love itself. But that is not love, it is fear wearing the mask of goodness. True kindness doesn't require you to break yourself to keep others whole. Every time you say yes to something that goes against your inner peace, you are silently saying no to yourself. And the more you silence your needs, the more distant you become from your own truth. Peace doesn't come from being accepted by others. It comes from accepting yourself enough to protect your energy. There will always be people who take your yes for granted, but become wounded by your no. That's not your fault, it's their expectation. And expectations are not contracts. You are allowed to change. You are allowed to choose differently. You are allowed to prioritize your mental and emotional health without an apology. The world might not clap for your boundaries, but your soul will. It will breathe again. It will rise again. It will whisper, "Thank you for coming home to me." Because every no that is born from love for yourself is a quiet revolution. A declaration that you are no longer abandoning yourself to be accepted. Peace begins where guilt ends. But guilt is clever. It disguises itself as empathy. It says, if you love them, do this for them. It says, they'll be hurt if you say no. And so, we abandon ourselves in the name of love. But remember, love that demands self-abandonment is not love. It is control. There will be moments when your no will be misunderstood, when people will say you've changed. Let them. You are not here to be understood by everyone. You are here to understand yourself so deeply that you no longer need validation to breathe freely. Saying no is not shutting a door, it is opening one. A door to rest, to healing, to clarity. A door to all the things you've denied yourself in order to be everything for everyone. Peace walks through that door the moment you lock out the noise and listen to your truth. You do not owe anyone your constant availability. You do not need to explain your boundaries in detail. No is a complete sentence. It is the language of those who have suffered in silence long enough. It is the voice of those reclaiming their space in the world. Imagine a life where you say yes with your whole heart, not out of fear. Where you only give what you can offer joyfully, not resentfully. That life exists. It starts with one decision to stop carrying guilt for protecting your peace. Your peace is sacred. Guard it like a flame in the wind. Not everyone will understand, but not everyone has to. Some will walk away. Let them. What remains after you start saying no to what drains you is the truth of who really values your presence. You cannot be everything for everyone and still have anything left for yourself, so choose wisely. Your energy is not infinite. Give it where it grows, not where it dies. Say no to the places that exhaust you and yes to the places that restore you. It is not selfish to choose yourself. It is survival. It is self-love. It is healing. It is choosing peace in a world that constantly demands your performance. And once you taste that kind of peace, you will never again betray yourself for the sake of being liked. Your peace starts the moment you believe that you are enough even when you say no, that your worth is not tied to your sacrifices, that your soul matters more than anyone's expectations. And when you say no with love and strength, you finally say yes to your own freedom. Protect your energy from negativity. Not every battle is worth fighting. Not every voice deserves your attention. Not every presence deserves a seat at your table. One of the most sacred acts of self-love is learning how to protect your energy, not because you are weak, but because you finally understand what drains your peace. Negativity is not always loud. Sometimes it whispers. Sometimes it comes dressed as friendship, as love, as advice. But you feel it in your chest, in your gut, in your silence. It's that invisible heaviness after a conversation, that inner discomfort after spending time in certain places with certain people. You owe it to your soul to pay attention to how people make you feel. Words can be wrapped in politeness, but carry poison. Smiles can be wide, but intentions shallow. Peace does not thrive in environments where your light is dimmed to make others comfortable. You were not born to absorb everyone's chaos. You were born to shine, to rise, to breathe freely. But you cannot do that if you constantly carry the weight of other people's bitterness, complaints, criticism, and drama. Protecting your peace sometimes means walking away, not to prove a point, but to preserve your light. Sometimes we stay in negative spaces out of guilt or history. They've been in my life for years, we say. But the length of a relationship does not equal the depth of its value. If someone consistently depletes your spirit, you are not obligated to keep them close. Peace doesn't require loyalty to pain. Boundaries are not walls to shut people out. They are doors you choose to open only to those who come with good energy. Boundaries say, I will meet you halfway, but I will not carry your darkness just to keep you close. Protecting your energy is not cruelty, it's clarity. You cannot fix people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You cannot heal those who refuse to face their own wounds. You can love them, you can wish them well, but you must also know when to step back. Because sometimes the most toxic thing is our belief that we can save someone who doesn't want to be saved. Negative people often feed off attention. They twist your words, question your worth, and project their pain onto you. But when you stop reacting, when you stop explaining, when you simply protect your space without explanation, you take your power back. Silence is sometimes the loudest answer. You become what you entertain. If you constantly surround yourself with bitterness, you slowly forget the taste of joy. If you constantly engage in arguments, you forget the sound of peace. Protecting your energy is about being deliberate, about choosing light, about seeking softness even in a harsh world. Not every message deserves a reply. Not every insult deserves your response. Not every invitation deserves a yes. The older your soul becomes, the more you understand the sacredness of your time, your mental clarity, your emotional balance, and that wisdom teaches you the beauty of selective presence. Peace is not found in proving yourself. It's found in walking away from conversations that belittle your worth. It's found in turning off the noise, stepping out of the drama, and choosing your own mental sanctuary. You deserve to live in a space that reflects calm, not chaos. Protecting your energy might mean fewer friends, fewer parties, fewer approvals, but it also means deeper sleep, gentler mornings, and a heart that beats to the rhythm of peace. It means being okay with disappointing others if it means being true to yourself. Let your home, your heart, your mind, and your soul be sacred ground. Don't let just anyone enter. Not everyone who knocks should be welcomed. Peace requires intentional protection. It asks you to filter the voices you hear, the people you follow, the energies you allow near. You do not have to be available all the time. You do not have to answer every call or fix every crisis. Your energy is precious. Your peace is priceless. And sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is simply step back and say, "This is not mine to carry." You are the guardian of your soul, the keeper of your calm. Protect your energy, not with fear, but with wisdom. Not with anger, but with grace. Let negativity pass like a storm and remain grounded like the earth beneath it. That is where peace lives. Inside you, waiting to be protected. Make peace with yourself first. The longest journey you will ever take is the journey inward. Because no matter where you go, what you achieve, or who walks beside you, if you are at war with yourself, the noise within will drown the peace outside. Real, lasting peace begins not in the world around you, but in the whispers within your own heart. We are taught how to be polite, how to be successful, how to be strong, but rarely are we taught how to be gentle with ourselves, how to sit in silence without judgment, how to look in the mirror and see someone worthy of kindness, not criticism. We have become experts at loving others, but strangers to loving ourselves. Self-acceptance is not a destination. It is a practice, a commitment, a radical act of love that says, "I am still worthy, even while becoming." It is the art of looking at your scars, your regrets, your flaws, and choosing to hold them with compassion, not contempt. The mind can be a battlefield. It stores memories like bullets, fires thoughts like arrows, and sometimes it turns against its own master. But peace begins when you lay down your weapons, when you stop replaying every mistake, when you stop comparing your path to someone else's highlight reel, and when you stop expecting perfection from a beautifully imperfect soul. There is a child in you still waiting to be held. A version of you that was told they weren't good enough, smart enough, pretty enough. That voice still lingers. And if you want peace, you must go back and whisper to that child, "You were always enough, they just couldn't see it." Making peace with yourself means forgiving yourself for what you didn't know, for the things you couldn't control, for the times you tried and failed. Forgiveness doesn't mean erasing the past. It means releasing its hold on your worth. It means saying, "I did the best I could with what I knew, and that is enough." Sometimes we think peace comes from fixing everything. But real peace comes when you stop trying to fix yourself like you're broken. You are not a problem to be solved. You are a soul to be embraced with your complexities, with your contradictions, with your humanity. Peace does not require perfection. It requires presence. To be with yourself without the need to escape. To sit in your own company and feel safe. To walk through your thoughts and not fear what you might find. That kind of peace is possible. But only when you stop running from who you are. You don't need to earn your worth. You don't need to hustle for love. You don't need to prove yourself to be valid. You are already enough. You have always been enough. And the moment you begin to believe, that is the moment peace begins to bloom in the garden of your soul. There is nothing more liberating than accepting yourself fully. Not just the polished parts, the broken pieces too. The parts you hide, the parts you fear, the parts you wish were different. Peace comes when you sit beside all those pieces and say, "You belong here too." Every time you speak gently to yourself, you heal a part of you that's been hurting in silence. Every time you choose rest over pressure, you tell your body, "I care." Every time you say, "I am enough," you write a new narrative, one that doesn't require pain to feel worthy. Making peace with yourself may look quiet from the outside, but inside it is a revolution. It is the unraveling of old beliefs. the soft rebellion against self-judgment. It is rewriting the script and choosing to be your own friend, your own healer, your own home. You are not defined by your worst day. You are not limited by your past. You are not the voice that says, you're not good enough. You are the silence that follows that voice, the calm that questions it, the strength that rises anyway. That is who you are. Stand beside yourself, not in conflict, not in shame, but in unity, in grace, in love. When you begin to stand with yourself instead of against yourself, the world shifts, the noise quiets, the storm stills, and you begin to feel the peace that was always waiting to be welcomed. The greatest relationship you will ever have is the one you have with yourself. Make peace there, and the rest will follow. Because once you are whole within, no one outside can take that away. That is where peace truly begins, within you, as you are, right now. In the end, peace is not a distant destination that only the lucky reach. It is not found in silence alone, nor in the absence of chaos. True peace is born in the choices we make every single day. The choice to let go, to heal, to protect, to forgive, and most of all, to come home to ourselves. It is not a gift someone hands to you. It is a journey you choose with courage. When you let go of what no longer serves you, you are not giving up, you are giving yourself room to grow. You are unburdening your soul, untangling the knots of expectation and shame that have kept you bound in restlessness. Letting go is not weakness, it is wisdom. It is knowing that not everything is meant to be held, and not every wound needs to be reopened. And as you embrace the power of the present, you begin to feel the rhythm of life again, not in the loud noise of the world, but in the quiet pulse of your own heart. You realize that you do not have to chase tomorrow, nor relive yesterday. Peace begins when you stand still long enough to feel today. When you learn to breathe in this moment and say, this is enough. You start to reclaim your peace the moment you learn to say no without guilt. When you stop shrinking yourself to make others comfortable. When you finally understand that boundaries are not barriers, they are bridges to your own self-respect. They are lines drawn not from arrogance, but from love for yourself and for what you hold sacred. And then comes the battle of energy, the silent storms that rage when you let too much negativity in. But when you protect your energy, you guard your soul's flame. You begin to choose peace over pressure, stillness over drama, truth over noise. You walk away not to escape, but to preserve what is beautiful and rare within you. You choose what nourishes instead of what depletes. But no protection, no boundary, no peace will ever last if you are still at war with yourself. The ultimate peace begins the day you decide to forgive yourself, to love yourself, to hold space for your flaws, your failures, your past, and still say, I am worthy. You stop seeking permission to exist and start embracing yourself as you are. And that is the most powerful kind of peace, the kind no one can take away. So if you want peace in life, don't search for it outside. Listen to your heart, listen to your body, listen to your silence. Peace was never out there, it was always inside you, hidden beneath the noise, waiting to be heard. And the moment you listen, really listen, it will speak back to you with a whisper that changes everything. You are already enough. You don't need to prove anything. You don't need to fix everything. You only need to return to yourself with grace, with patience, with honesty. Because when you finally choose peace within, the world around you starts to look different, softer, kinder, calmer. And it all begins with one brave decision to listen to the quiet voice inside that says, this is the life you deserve. Peace is not found in the absence of pain, it is found in the presence of truth. And when you begin to live in truth, you begin to live in peace. And that is where everything begins.